Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, because you got to hold your breath for justice, to see justice before all fades to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, I'm coming through today, January 30th, 2025. This video I was supposed to make yesterday when I got off of work, but girl, I was going to bed. I was tired. So, let me just jump into it. Okay, this video is just to say I do watch a lot of YouTube content, but I am choosy about the content creators that I do watch. I usually don't watch YouTube for entertainment. Like literally, I don't. I mean, I do like to be entertained, but girl, that ain't part of my life. Like majority of my life, just trying to be entertained. I watch YouTube for enlightenment, for encouragement, for truth, right? So KK from Set Apart to Serve. Yes. Watching her content came in very much in handy yesterday. It was kind of a weird day. And now you know how KK talks about grave rocking dodos that work with us, right? And how the proper way, right? Because really they make you want to just go off on them, and because they act so silly. But that's not the way that God wants us to deal with them, right? So just give you a backdrop, because most likely you ain't been following me like that, because I don't get a lot of content on my, I'm sorry, engagement on my channel. I'm sorry. Powerade. I'm still dealing with dehydration. Crazy. But a little backdrop. Okay. The job that I work at, been there 11 years now. I came there because I was fired for a slip and fall. I was injured. It was the job's fault, but big business, they were able to wiggle out of it, fire me. I basically had to start over in life. I ended up working at a theme park. I was in my early 30s, and I had climbed the ladder of, corporate a little bit. Um, Not corporate, but that with that company. I had benefits, I had this, I had that, and then boom, I had nothing. Not even insurance. And I was making half of my pay starting over working at a theme park. I also took with me injuries, permanent injuries, and I already was losing my eyesight, and I already had um, very severe carpal tunnel, and just added all these different issues with my spine from the slip and fall. Okay, so all of that said, I be in a lot of pain. I deal with several different disabilities, but I'm not lazy. I can work. I can work circles around you, though I am injured and disabled. That's why it's like you shouldn't write people off for being disabled, because they still. I had a project. I'm a graphic designer. I had a project while I was in school. Disability does not mean no ability, right? But people are so close minded. People are very small minded about certain subjects, and they think disabled people literally, I don't know, they don't always treat disabled people the best, right? So, all that to say, I was working in a laundry room um, uh, maybe 4 years ago, and it was becoming too extreme for me. I did have FMLA where I could work. I could go in and work like a good 3 days, but then I needed 2 days to rest. Um, and it was approved for me to rest the 2 days to get the swelling down, to get the all of that down. And But when I would take my 2 extra days, you would have coworkers talking about you behind your back, because you're legally taking time off after working yourself to your limit, right? But they didn't understand that, so they would talk behind my back. They would do all types of stuff. To the moment I was like, I just can't do this. So I ended up letting my human resources know, and they said, okay, well, let's try to transfer you to somewhere where it may not be so strenuous. Because, granted, doing laundry at a theme park is a lot. And it's a lot for a person that is legally blind, have different herniated discs, have arthritis in their spine, have carpal tunnel. That is not an easy job to do. But I did it. Grace of God, I did it. And I did it well. But they would get mad because I took 2 days off extra to recuperate, and it was legal to do so. So they found me a position at a restaurant. They said it was a cashier position, which it made me cringe because previous in my theme park career, I was a cashier. It was loads of money. I worked out at a cart, and they were receiving tons of money to the point where it was hurting me, to have to count all that money and to handle all that money and to be like wrapping churros and like doing this motion to wrap churros. Even this hurts, y'all. Girl, to wrap churros and to wrap turkey legs. So I did cringe because I was like, oh man, I tried cashier before and it kind of still hurted. So, but it was at the point where they were kind of gonna, if they couldn't find me something, they were gonna let me go. So I had been there for a while, like maybe 8 years at that point. Why would I, part ways with the company? So I'm like, let me try the cashier. Now, the position, which is where I'm still at, it was fine as long as I could. There's several different positions, and as long as I could kind of move around and not get stuck in the same position, with carpal tunnel, the biggest issue is repetitive motion. And for y'all that's in the workforce, be careful. If you have a job where you're having to do the same repetitive motions, you could actually get carpal tunnel. And it's almost like once you get carpal tunnel, your behind just, it's hard to work. It is hard. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it is definitely a career like killer. There's so much stuff I could have done in my life if I did not have carpal tunnel, such as I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I could have actually been a cosmetologist, probably making bank if I did not have carpal tunnel. I wanted to be a tattoo artist. Probably could have been that without the carpal tunnel. I am a graphic designer. I have a degree in it. And without carpal tunnel, the reason it is so difficult to work for a company is because I'm too slow. The demand is like this, and the carpal tunnel, like, so without carpal tunnel, girl, there's no limits. I would not be just, here working at a restaurant, barely making ends meet. That would not be me. But due to my disabilities, it kind of caps off my earning potential. It sucks, but that's what it does. And it kind of keeps me in a certain spot, which I hate it, but I don't know, until I'm healed, that this is what I basically. So, as long as I'm not repeating the same motions, there's several different positions. If I could bus, if I could do dishes one day, if I could do expo is where they pass out the food when the orders are up. If I can pass out the food, if I could cashier some, I mean, I would be so straight. But when I got to that position, I realized right offhand nobody ever, the tons of employees they had, nobody ever wanted to do cashier. And they kept leaving me on cashier. But cashier was the one thing that I noticed that really like irritated my carpal tunnel and got me swelling up. When I first came to that job, I was seeing a chiropractor. I had the money to do so. I was doing something called advanced chiropractic. It was helping a lot. But towards, I don't even know what year that was. I think it was 2023 or 2022. My pockets started touching its back. Like I didn't have no money. I didn't have no extra money to keep going to the chiropractor, though that was what was really getting me through. So I had to quit the chiropractor. It became that I started being in more pain. It started being harder to constantly be on that register because like when they would work me on the register, um, I would just go to the chiropractor and he'll adjust some things and then I feel good for another week. So nobody, not one, wanted to be on the register. They would always leave me on the register. They would do slick things like when a guest comes in, they will run to the back or they'll run grab a tray and they'll run and try to act like they have to do this or that. And then it's like they'll peek around. Once I'm stuck on the register, then they'll come out and act like they're helping. Now, so this is the slick stuff they do when the managers are not around. But the problem is, I've told the managers that they do it, but I don't know, they just don't want to solve the issue. They never address that the elephant in the room. Like if you fix that, and if you make us equal, rotate us. All I asked was rotation. I'd be on the register today. Tomorrow, let her be on the register, and then him be on the register. They won't address that problem. So what they do is they would they would kind of, if you were willing to do the register, they would use you on the register. But if you were not, they wouldn't make you do it. Right? So there's no kind of equality or justice in the situation. So constantly, people running off to the back every time guests come in, which is silly for business. That's not good for business. So over the time, you know how you'll be at a place and many people come and go, come and go, come and go, and you're kind of still the same one there, right? Now there was one that started with me. She started a few months before me in that position, but I've been there longer than everybody because I've been there at the company for 11 years. But in this position, I came to it a couple months after her. And she was allowed to do, this person was allowed to do anything she wanted. She was a good worker. She's a good worker as long as you give her no instructions. As long as you don't tell her anything to do management wise or anything. She doesn't want a manager to address her, to tell her to do anything. Okay, so when they when it came down to, I had a review and a manager was like, we haven't done a great job of accommodating you, right? Because I was moved to the restaurant so that it could be less strenuous on my, disabilities. And I was like, no, to be honest with you, no. I'm still in pain. I'm still ending up on this register. I'm still. So she was like, give us one more chance, please, to fix it. And this one really worked with me. So you work with me, I work with you. Okay, here's another chance. And they started telling this other employee that, look, you're gonna have to do this register sometimes because Keita just can't do it. She's not physically able. She has a doctor's note. And even before, she used to burst out when they would ask her to get on the register. Oh, does she have a doctor's note? Oh, does she? Well, you don't have to. That's against the law for them to go tell her about my medical issues, right? But the thing is, if the manager asked her to do the register, she should be doing the register. Or if you're not going to do it and you refuse to do it, just be written up and let go. But they won't do that. They will not do that. They keep her. Okay, so at that point, there was no problem between me and her. When they told her she had to start doing the register sometime because I cannot do the register, that is when she had, like, she no longer talked to me, period. I wasn't going to talk to her, put that gray rock up. And basically, that's when she started being underhanded towards me and like really hateful towards me because I'm disabled. Like, pick another reason. That's the lamest reason to not like somebody because they're disabled and because they can't be used as much as you want to, you dislike them. And I wrote a quote today. It's like being held in contempt for something you cannot help. Her mistreating me because I'm disabled feels like contempt. You know how they hold you in contempt of the court, or like when they told me they was gonna hold me in contempt of the court because I was crying because they was wrongfully about to convict my husband and incarcerate him, and I was gonna be held into contempt. She has contempt for me because I'm disabled and I cannot be used on the register all the time so that she never has to use it. Does she have the same issues I have? Really don't think so. They can't legally tell me, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. And if she did, I know they definitely, it wouldn't play out the same way it plays out for me. So since that day, a couple years ago, this girl has been at odds with me because I'm disabled. It sucks. It's so aggravating. I worked 3 days with her, 3 mornings. I worked 3 mornings, 2 evening shifts. I cannot stand working with this girl. I cannot stand it. And she's almost the first person I see. And I come in and I'm like, I pray for her. I come in and pray for her. I pray that God just takes that hate out of her heart, takes that, I believe it's pride as well. Because pride will make you get on a job and feel like we're supposed to, everyone on that job that is not, is supposed to cater to you. Like, in what lifetime do you do that? Get on a job and cater to the person rather than worrying about fixing the food for the guests. Like, but I believe it's a pride thing because she doesn't see how it affects others. All she sees is, oh, I got to get on the register now because this disabled girl can't do it. So I can't stand her. So enough time has went by. So what happens when these issues happen, and KK speaks about it a lot, when newer people come or other people come and they don't realize that's the stupid petty reason the person doesn't like you. Because she's even said that if they had to ever say why they truly don't like you, that would sound stupid. So they don't say it. But they try to act as though, you did something to them and they have a justified reason for not liking you. So what she does all that stuff you say, KK, do all that loud laughing and stuff. Like, stuff is so funny. So that because I'm quite, I don't talk to nobody. They like to click up, but they're so like phony. I don't even think they like each other, but I don't know, they click up. And she's good friends with a support manager over us. So she's not the highest manager, but she's kind of. So even her, she kind of, sometimes I see her act a little different when this person is around. And I don't know, she has everybody just turned against me. And you know, talking behind my back because of this. And I don't know. And when all of them, they won't get on the register either. Like literally, that's part of your job description. And y'all won't get on the register either. But y'all hate me because I'm disabled and can't do the register all the time so that you can do something else and you can talk and play while you're doing it. That's why they don't like the register, because the register's kind of grouped off to be dealing with just the guests. It's not being amongst your coworkers. So that's why they don't like the register, because they need to come to work to laugh and talk and giggle. And for her, she plays Monopoly all day long on her phone, talks on her phone all day. You can't do that when you're on the register with the guests. So this is the true reason they don't want to be on the register all the time. I don't want to be on it. I wouldn't mind, but it hurts me because I'm not a people person. So I come to work and stay by myself anyway. So why would I mind being with the guests on the register? So I said all that to give you that long background. I'm sorry, y'all. But she have everyone just thinking the worst of me. Um, But what's crazy is I got the best guest service around there, and I keep getting all these good comments from outside managers, from guests, from everybody. So she can't quite snuff my light out. She can't. And that's the light and the dark working together. I bring light to that place, and I know that I bring light to that place. That's why they don't get rid of me. But I don't understand why they don't get rid of her, because all she brings is confusion. So I guess you need light and confusion in the same place. So anyways, yesterday, I dread working these days because I know I gotta work with her. But I come in the door, I'm already praying. I come in, I see her, I cringe. I'm sorry, the Holy Spirit has to work on me with that. But then I start praying for her, that she would just, because the thing is, and what I thought about everything she does to me, she's doing to herself. So God forbid she ever becomes disabled. You have mistreated someone for being disabled, and then you end up disabled yourself. That would not be a good look. But if she ever did, all this stuff you doing to me, you're actually doing it to yourself. So you should back off. You should back down. So I come in. Ugh, it's one of them days. I'm outnumbered because it's two workers in the support, but the support and her are friends. So I'm outnumbered. So it's kind of slow. Every time a guest comes in, she runs to the back. Nobody will address her on that. They don't care. She'll tell the guests, "Oh, just wait a minute. Somebody will be with you in a moment," and then she'll run to the back. She'll wait till someone else picks up the guest, and then she'll come back out. Which is so, I don't understand how they don't see this, but it happens every single time. And I've told them, if you just go and look, you can see what she's doing, but they won't do it. So she does that, and I end up taking a couple of guests because it was kind of slow. Because I could do the register sometimes, I just can't do it every single goddamn day, all day. So I take a guest, and I took a few of them, because what happened is, if I try to get on the register, when the register gets too long, the line gets too long, I try to get on the register to help out the person on the register to get the line down. But what they'll do is they'll jump off the register and leave me on the register. And that's what I get for helping. That's how they do me. They do me the wrongest, not knowing, you don't know who you're doing wrong. All this may come back and bite them in their behinds. So anyways, that's what happened. I jumped on to help, and then the person disappeared and left me on the register. So it's slow. So I went on and took the gas or whatever. And then I was like, oh, shoot. I knew somebody had asked for a turkey pastrami sandwich with no bacon. But so many people had ordered this turkey pastrami sandwich, but I couldn't figure out who ordered without the bacon. So I'm like, a few minutes later, I'm like, oh shoot, somebody ordered with no bacon. I couldn't remember. So I went and told the person that was on the expo, which is the support manager. I was like, oh man, somebody had no bacon. I can't remember where it is. So I go around the lobby, the dining room, and I ask everybody, did you get turkey pastrami, no bacon? They said, no, I got bacon. Next table, no, I got bacon. Next table, no, I got, it was like 5 or 6 tables. So I'm like, and then it was the guy that had the last order, and I'm like, it can't be him because I thought it was, further back. So I'm like, nobody has it. Maybe it already went through and they didn't notice it, or, they might have ordered no bacon and then they just pulled it off the sandwich or whatever. That's what I'm thinking. So ends up, she's like, okay, it's fine. But I did notify them, right? All of a sudden, um, the last person, it was the last person. I should have asked that last table. I knew I should have asked, but that's the setup. The enemy always tries to set you up for failure. So, of course, I didn't ask the last person, and he was the one that had no bacon. So he sent it back. The girl is the one that brought it out to him. So she brings it back to the kitchen. I don't know who took this order. This is how she says this loud. I don't know who took this order, but they got it wrong. You know I took it. You know you ain't take it because you won't get your butt on that register. You know you ain't take that order, but you knew I took that order. So she makes a big deal. This person, I don't know who took this order, but it didn't have bacon. I'm sorry, y'all. All in the kitchen. I'm sorry, y'all. But she met the order is passive aggressive. She never pointed it towards me, but she made the biggest deal about it, right? I have patience, but I'm not perfect. Not at all perfect. So when she's taking, I said, well, if you get on the register some, maybe the orders will come out right. My slick mouth sometime. And I know, KK, I was supposed to ignore that. And that's what I usually do. I usually don't say nothing to the girl. She aggravates the gel out of me, but I try not to acknowledge her. I just go back into prayer. Okay, but at that time, she aggravated me. So I said, well, if you did some of the register, maybe the orders wouldn't come out right. Wrong. So the support manager is like, oh, it's okay. So she, rather than address her, because nobody's going to ever address her, she was like, oh, it's okay. It's not that big of a deal and this and that. So I'm like, I told y'all somebody had no bacon. Like, I literally put the warning out there. And then I even went around the lobby and tried to find them. So she makes this big deal. So she does get stuck at the register. When she does get stuck at the register, nobody else is around. She'll take a couple of people, but this girl's gonna find her exit, right? So it's so funny how she took the person's order and then they sent the order back. And there's a sandwich called chopped cheese. She gave her a chopped cheese sandwich. It's basically a chopped up hamburger made like a Philly steak almost. She brings her that. And then the lady comes back up. I'm back on register, stuck again. And the lady, I'm like, how can I help you? Sorry. Don't disturb. She comes up on the side of me. Yeah, what can I do for you? Like, they ain't got no customer service. And she's like, I got the wrong sandwich. I ordered a grilled cheese. She's like, let me see your receipt. And the lady's like, you took my order? she said, but you know what? It's okay because you heard chopped cheese, but I ordered grilled cheese. It's fine. I would have just switched it out because the customer is always right. But, whatever. I guess she's always right. That employee is always right. So she goes to the kitchen. I'm sorry. I heard chopped cheese, but they ordered grilled cheese. Why you didn't go to the kitchen with the same energy? I don't know who ordered this. I don't know who ordered this, but it's wrong, and I'm sorry, y'all in the kitchen. Why she didn't do that with the same energy? Oh my goodness! All I could do is just, and I repented. I had to repent because I said something slick out the mouth. I said if you get on that register some, maybe there wouldn't be as many mistakes. And I usually don't respond, guys, but I did that time. But KK, your content is helping me. It has been hard working like this. It really has. And it before finding your content, I'm like, why am I being punished like that? Literally, God, you gave me all these gifts. I can't. What is this? Can you imagine having all the gifts that I have? If you've seen any of them, but being stuck doing this and being mistreated, you're like. But through her content, I realized it's not a punishment. God has me there for a purpose. And when God is ready to move me, he will move me, right? But I clocked out and I went to our theme park has a lot of celebrations, a lot of little they um, really do try to help their employees. It's a good company. So I go and there's this stand, they had like a festival almost where they were giving away little prizes and this and that and giving you information about the different organizations around the company. And I go to the last table, which is DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they have all these different groups, and it's one about being basically disabilities. And I'm like, oh, that's the one I'm really interested in. Like, so as I went to talking to the girl that was there, I was like, that's the one I'm most interested in because just it's been very difficult being a disabled employee. It's really been hard. And I'm like, it's not the management, it's the coworkers that literally just don't get it and they treat you bad, and it's basically because you're disabled. And she's like, oh my gosh, me too, because I have disabilities and it has been so hard working. And people, I think people respond when the person can see their disabilities. But if you can't see the disabilities, people assume you are just as able bodied as they are. And they will treat you accordingly. And I'm like, I have been going through it. Like, honestly, it's been really hard. And she's like, I've been through the same thing. She was like, what suggestions do you have? What things do you think can make better? And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? So this is full circle. I'm gonna give her I'm very smart, I'm very talented, and I have a lot of gifts. But I do have disabilities with my gifts. But I'm like, that's so funny how I just had that encounter. And now, this major part organization of the company wants me to work with them. So maybe is all for purpose. Well, it is all for purpose. But yeah, just wanted to, y'all go check out her channel, Set Apart to Serve. And her name is KK. Helped me a lot on this journey, well, with this trial. All right, guys, it's your girl Cadillac.